It's another episode of Loosely Attached. Welcome back in. It's been a long time since I've seen you, Logan.
Oh, yeah, it's been about a week.
Yeah, it's been a week, and man, we scripted nothing for this episode. Absolutely nothing. We just go in, we go crazy. And man, I've had a couple drinks, couple whiskey and cokes, couple rum and cokes. I'm a little tuned up, and it makes for great content every time this happens. And, honestly, man, Logan, we have a lot to discuss. You went to Disney, so we do a huge diss track on Disney. We talk about moving a little bit and beefing with people. I mean, you get in a fight with somebody at your work over God knows what.
50-year-olds snitching. Dude,
it's wild out there, and it's a good episode. So, man, without further ado, let's get right in there.
You that I can't quite put my finger in.
It's another episode of Loosely Attached. Welcome back to the show. Man, if you haven't already done so, go follow us on every single social media that you can possibly imagine at Loosely Attached Pod. The Instagram blew up, Logan.
It did. It was going massive.
Crazy. 300 followers in what? A week and a half?
A week.
Like, that's fucking insane. And thank you guys for all of that. And we got to work on the Twitter. TikTok's blowing up as well. I think our first video on TikTok got 500.
Yeah.
Which in the grand scheme of TikTok, not that big for a first video for a page with no followers. Massive. So,
well, I mean, we're self-promoters.
Yeah.
We have no connection. We're not going around. Like, we don't have the, like, whatever station advertising for us. It's us word of mouth. It's us word of mouth to whoever cares to listen, and to the ones who care to listen, thank you guys so much.
Totally. Thank you very much. And our numbers, they started at a pretty good number already with who was already coming in to listen, and have grown exponentially each week, which means that there's new people coming in every week, which is awesome. Thank you. And man, if you've got a topic, if you got an idea, send it in, because we'll definitely cover it, and you'll get a little bit of clout yourself. But man, Logan, here's the situation for those listening at home. I haven't seen Logan in like a week because I went back home to Ohio, and then Logan
traveled to fake Florida.
Yeah, Logan went on one of his gallivanting adventures that him and his girlfriend go on, where they mysteriously have free time and money to just go gallivant. And we haven't seen each other in a week.
Yeah.
We're coming into this episode. Quite honestly, I've had a couple drinks. I'm actually like a little tuned up. So this episode is going to be good. I mean, there's going to be a lot that is happening. And to be quite honest, I don't even know what's coming.
Yeah.
This is one of those like blind episodes where we're just going to catch up and figure out what we've been doing for the past week and put it all into the journal that is Loosely Attached. So welcome to the fucking ride. And Logan, we'll start with you, man, because shit, I gotta gather my thoughts on what I experienced this past week, because it was fucked. But man, welcome back from Orlando. It's a place I haven't been to, and it's a place that honestly looks like it is extremely tourist related, other than like the city.
You've never been to Orlando ever?
No. The only places I've been to in Florida are the city we're in and Fort Lauderdale.
All right, that's a good place to start. Let me break it down. So we'll make a 7, right? Florida's kind of shaped like a 7.
Florida's a 7, yeah.
So to Tallahassee, all the way west.
Where's Tallahassee in the 7? The center?
Yeah, like the center of the Panhandle.
Got it.
So we have Tallahassee here. Everything west of Tallahassee is Alabama. Everything east of Tallahassee, before the lower part of the 7, is, besides Duval, is Georgia.
Yeah.
All right. In the middle of Florida, you have the Florida. You have your Springs.
The Florida.
The Florida. Like, you have your Springs, your touristy. Fuck Disney World. I'll come back to it. All right. So as you go down, you have the Everglades. Nothing's really there. You have SoFlo, which is South Florida, which is really all the Florida that you need. You have your Fort Lauderdale, your Miami,
Yeah.
your Boca Raton, everything down there. Then you have Swifla, I believe it's called, which is Southwest Florida,
Yeah.
which is like wannabe South Florida,
Yeah.
from what I've gathered through my trips.
Dude, I'm a little buzzed for the geography lesson, to be honest. I followed you a little bit, but I get it. I
It's
get
a
it.
mess. The keys to their own thing. But anyways, we went to D Florida, right? Orlando, hate it. Hate Orlando with a passion solely because of Disney World.
Okay.
I see people walk around with their cat ears, families in their group t-shirts, a fake stigma that everybody goes to Florida and they go to Orlando, they walk around Disney World and go home. So I would argue that going to Orlando, seeing Mickey Mouse, going to real Florida, Mickey Mouse would be on crack in a bathroom somewhere.
Oh my god.
I would argue. I don't know, man. It really rubs me the wrong way seeing like these large families and Mickey Mouse shirts and
No, I get it.
just like hoarding up the McDonald's line in their fucking minivan.
No, I get it. Look, Disney World is a cult.
Yeah.
Disney in general is a cult. And I get that Disney, we couldn't even scratch the surface of what Disney owns off the top of our heads because they're into so much shit that we don't even necessarily know about. But here's what I'll say about Disney World that really sticks out to me. I think that the idea of being a grown adult that is fixated upon Disney World is slightly uncomfortable. It's not, I don't want to say that it's abnormal because I get that, like, I revert back to my childhood a lot too. I'm going to be fair. Like, I love Star Wars. I grew up watching Star Wars. I still like Star Wars. That's me reverting back to my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And if I went to Disney World and saw a ton of Star Wars shit, I'd be like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, valid. Okay. Here's what I think is weird. I used to date a girl who, like, her family was like all about Disney World. And like every single year it was like tradition for them to travel so far to go to Disney World. And I've never been there. For the listeners out there, like, I'm not being a hypocrite in saying that I've gone because I have not. I went to Disney. Okay. I'm couple whiskey and cokes, man. I'm almost admitting that I went to Disney World without actually doing it. Look, if I were to go to Disney World, it would be against my code.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I'm out here bashing it. But here's my thing. I'm trying hard not to be mean. All right? But if you're a full-grown adult that goes into Disney World and is like hyped about it like a little kid, you're scary. And also, furthermore, to believe that Disney World is in any way a representation of American culture, fucking wrong. Completely and totally wrong. Disney is its own entity that is aside from the U.S. Like this girl used to say, like, this is the most American thing you can do is go to Disney World. That is fucking false. The most American thing you can do is to till the land and to fucking grow corn and harvest the meat from cows. Am I wrong? That's the most American thing you could do. Or maybe like the most American thing you can do is have a squatted truck with the tennis ball on the back and a mullet.
Fuck. Well, your last statement, you just cut our audience in half.
Fuck it. Sorry, Alabama kids.
Yeah, well, no, I'm talking about Disney. The Alabama kids. Dude.
Oh, no, the Disney shit, for sure. No, I know that statement is going to probably get a lot of heat.
No, dude, fuck.
But it is what I feel,
Yeah.
and like I just don't get the hype. But here's the thing: there's a lot of stuff that I like that people probably don't get the hype on either. So I get it. People, honestly, sorry to cut you off.
No,
people are probably like, "Man, what's the hype on podcasts? What the fuck is all that?"
That's true.
Man, I mean, they're probably not listening to us now, but if they are, I don't know.
I feel like I don't necessarily want to say like Disney World, like as an amusement park, is the problem. I really think it's the people in the minivans, the family T-shirts, and the cat ears. It's that's the problem, because then they'll like, dude, even like this past week on my Snapchat, like me even being in Orlando, I'm just swarmed with all these Disney ads. Like it's like you said, it's a cult. Like
no
even
shit.
When
there
driving,
was targeted ads.
Yes, like all over Snapchat, and even
No
the people
shit.
in my hometown were in Orlando. Oddly enough, like I've seen like 7 or 8 people there.
Dude.
All at Disney. But like as you're driving through the city, all these billboards are Disney ads or like Disney themed or
Yeah.
like Disney, like Mickey's hand is like holding a clock up, like all throughout the city. It's really weird. It's giving me like what was that guy's name who like made him drink the Kool-Aid? You know what I'm talking about?
Made who drink the Kool-Aid?
You don't know about the story, like the cult here in America where they were following this guy, and then like they ended up following him thinking he was like their savior, and then they went to somewhere in South Africa, I believe, and then ended up being like a mass suicide. It was a big thing.
Dude, what?
I can't think of his name. If I had his name, I'd drop it, but
oh my God.
it was something.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah, it's a nuts situation.
Oh my God. Dude, okay. Kind of like circling back. Disney definitely is a cult.
Yeah.
The brand is so in your face. Their marketing budget is fucking off the charts. I mean, you even said it. Every billboard in the city. Think about that. The whole fucking city. And then there's, dude, like Disney Plus, and it is an insane money grab to be able to stream every Disney movie for $10 a month, whatever it is. Insane money grab. Buying Star Wars. They bought out George Lucas for billions. That dude is vibing. Lost all control of his series that he created, but yeah, he's chilling. I would have done the same. If Walt Disney, was unearthed from his grave and was like, dude, I'll buy Loosely Attached from you, but we're going to make it the dumbest bullshit that you've ever heard or seen, and you have to host it, I'd be like, done. Give me the money. I'm sorry. I'd sell out. Like, I'll buy a fleet of Hellcats, no doubt. So that's what, to give you an idea, that's what he's done with everything.
Yeah.
ESPN, and dude, like, I can't even name them all. Google it. Walt Disney Incorporated, the Disney company, whatever it's called, is so involved with everything.
I think they bought Family Guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
I think they did because South Park made a reference or something like that.
Maybe.
They made a reference to it. And I want to say they have a space program as well.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive Disney has a space program.
They do.
Which one is it?
I don't know. I really don't.
I'm pretty sure they do have one.
They have
nuts.
well, it's not even just space. Like it's a ton of scientific research, and they're just so involved, man. And it's scary. It is. But Disney isn't the only company. Like we can't be like, oh, Disney's controlling everything, because it's not just Disney. They're just the majority owner. If you look, Disney is in control of quite literally the majority of major companies.
Yeah.
Dumb shit that you wouldn't even think they're in control of. And it's like, dude, that's a little weird, because this started off as a guy making a flip book movie of Bambi.
Yeah.
And now it's like an empire that we can't stop because he's got too much cash. I mean, that dude, I guarantee you, Disney could solve the entire world's crisis and problems if they just forked out a fraction of a percent of the money that company is worth. They won't do it. Shareholders refuse.
Instead, they're reinvesting in the fucking cat ears.
The cat ears. They're selling them for $45 in the gift shop, and just it's like a gluttony of money. It's like, give me more money. I can't get enough. And dude, they're like, I don't know what Disney employees get paid. Can't be worth it. Can't be worth it.
I mean, think about it. Like, they have to go through so much shit on a day-to-day
basis. On a day-to-day basis,
like, imagine if you had to be Mickey.
Oh, my God.
Bro.
I bet you Mickey makes a bag, though.
Yeah. I wonder if they get tips.
Tips? Probably not.
No.
I mean, how often has a mascot come up to you and you slide him a 10? Never. Because they're just there.
I don't know. Mickey might have a power.
Maybe, bro.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
You walking around as Mickey is probably more popular than Justin Bieber. Think about it. If you
may be right.
Mickey Mouse at Disney World may get more attention than Justin Bieber at like a local mall.
That's wild, but you may be right. Everyone knows who that is.
Yeah.
I literally, like, you're insane if you don't. Which is, I think, why, people say, like, oh, like, you're crazy if you don't go. Everyone knows what Disney is. Dude, I'm famous for not following trends.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it just because everyone else thinks it's cool. I don't think it's cool. And I think that some Disney shit is, catered towards me. I think it's cool, like Star Wars.
I can say Universal is a little bit better.
Yeah.
I still hate it because of like what surrounds it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like it's a little better than Disney World at least. But regardless, I'm still gonna avoid it. But bright side, Orlando has sick water parks. I will give them that.
Okay.
I had a super fun time at the water parks. They have awesome springs all throughout Florida. Super great time.
I saw a video of you about breaking your spine doing a backflip.
That was a perfect form.
Yeah, but I mean,
Perfect form.
I don't know,
it's
bro.
like a 50-foot deep, like blue lagoon.
That was sick.
It's awesome.
That was sick. No, I honestly think that would be a really cool trip
Hell yeah.
to do that kind of stuff. I just am not going to ignore the fact that it's a complete and total empire.
We'll take it when we go down to South Florida. We'll go around Orlando, and then we'll hit the important cities. But back to you. How was your trip, man?
Man, it was definitely really eye opening. I mean, I moved down to Florida it's been about a year now. And, you know, we've talked about it in previous episodes. Like, I feel like such a completely different human being than I was when I left to come down here. And then I changed again down here to become this guy that I'm, like, growing into being now. So, like, going home was kind of like, you know, refreshing myself with my old life and kind of like, you know, meeting with old connections and, you know, being around people who, you know, to be honest, I left back then and still have stayed close to me and love me to this day, which is incredibly cool. And, you know, to kind of reinvest myself in that world again for a weekend was refreshing. And I think I needed it. And, you know, I think the biggest lesson that it taught me in this trip was, you know, like, this is really cool to come back. Feels good. And, you know, I'm happy to be here, but I know where I'm supposed to be.
Kind of reminds you of like why you left in a sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, you know, I think that the most impressive part is, you know, in the workforce and, you know, really in careers in general, I think most people will agree that it's really hard to kind of separate time because you're just needed for so much. And, you know, it's an inconvenience to your boss who's paying you if you leave. And so it's like, dude, I have to be here, you know. To make that time was hard. And instead of going to like Miami or, you know, fucking like, I don't know, Bora Bora, like I could have gone to any like sweet location. I went back home to the shithole town I was in. And it's not even the town, it was the people that I was returning to. And they were my vacation. Yeah. My vacation was seeing old faces. And, you know, they were, you know, warm and pleasant faces that I missed. And dude, I'm gonna be nice about the people that I saw while I was there who I didn't know that well, because I was in public and there was, you know, like, you know, some festivals that I went to and like stuff where I saw a lot of people I grew up with. Man, I'm gonna be nice and say they look like hell now. Horrible people, like I'm telling you, horrible looking. It's completely changed. Yeah. So either I have done the same as them, like I look like hell now too, or, you know, they're just not taking care of themselves. But like that's expected.
The hot cheerleaders are 2 years later down the drain.
Down the fucking tube. It just really makes you think, like, high school really doesn't matter. And we've talked about that already, so no need to rehash it. But, you know, man, I don't know, to kind of conclude it. I mean, I came back exhausted because it was just go, go, go. And to be honest, like, drank every night and like partied with my friends who I never see. So it was like a big celebration to be back, which was so fun. I needed it.
Well, how's your head now? Like now that you kind of got away from the work environment and kind of went out back to the home life to regroup?
Clear. Really, I mean, honestly, kind of a refreshed mindset. And I'm happy I did it because, I mean, like I was telling you, like my realization is that, you know, that time is over. Like, it's always fun to like return back, but if I was there for like a month, I would be like, fuck, you know? Yeah. And like, even if everything down here failed, my fallback would not be to go home. Yeah. Like if I, in my new city, completely crashed and burned, which some observers may say has already happened, I would be like, fuck, I'm going home. Can't do it. I won't. I will find the next opportunity and continue to grow and find new locations, because the truth is the world is just too big to return to old lives. You're basically repeating old cycles that will continue to be the same. And that's why I think those people look the way they do and have developed the way they have, is because they haven't grown. They haven't tried to. It's
That's
fucked.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when I go back home, I see like everybody looks the exact same. Like yours probably look like out of shape, terrible, right?
Yeah, they were like fat.
Mine look like they're like all fucking related. Like they have the same hat, same shirt, same shorts, same truck, and like talk the same, have the same career. Nothing against welding, not the career's fault.
Shout out welding.
People's fault.
Yeah,
but it's another. Fuck it.
Don't go off on welding again. The Mobile kids will be like, "Fuck, man, fuck."
Yeah, dude.
Get all mad.
Fuck it.
Sorry, guys.
I don't know. Now that you have a level head, we have time to mentally prepare.
Yeah. Oh shit.
We have some fucking shit coming up.
Yeah, dude. I actually forgot about that completely. This month is gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just moved, and now you're moving too, and your girlfriend's moving the same week.
Yeah.
And I owe you one.
We'll have 3 separate houses that we can all chill at.
I don't got time for that, man. Yeah, I mean, having more houses to hang at is actually going to be harder. But no, dude, moving is the absolute worst, especially when you're young, because when you're older, you've got expendable income and you just pay a moving company like $1,000 and you're like, go ahead, guys.
Yeah.
Go move my shit. And it works. Like, we're not in that position, so it's like the bros have to move it.
Yeah.
And, you know, man, like, you guys were an integral part. Actually, the really only real reason why my move worked was because you and Olivia, your girlfriend, were around to help me.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise it doesn't happen. So, you know, now, I mean, we're kind of starting your next chapter and, you know, your girl's next chapter and your guys' new places. And, man, moving... Like, they even say, like, psychologically, moving is a traumatic event. When you move from one house to the other, especially if it's, you know, rushed or, you know, you do it unplanned, like, it changes you. And your brain has to adjust to a new habitat. It's dude, it's weird how humans work.
Luckily, I haven't had to go through that. Like, my first move was super easy. Like, I packed it up in the car, drove an hour or two. I was in and out in a day.
Yeah.
This next one is going to be a little harder because I have one of my boys coming from Utah. Shout out Ian.
Shout out
Ian.
Can't wait to meet him.
We're about to come down and get this nice little pad, and 5 minutes from downtown, 10 minutes from the beach. Nice little spot. Not bad for 19, but...
Not a huge deal. He's not bragging or anything.
Not bad for 19.
Not gonna brag, but
hey, that's all.
Not
Ian.
bad for 19.
Ian made it happen.
Oh.
Hey, man.
No, jokes aside, that is a massive accomplishment.
Yeah,
it's a massive accomplishment, and it's exciting. I mean, you're kind of moving into a better scenario, and I mean, I moved so much throughout college, and you know, kind of like lived with different people, and. You know, man, shout out Nick Stimpert and Zach Yater as my 2 like main roommates.
Oh, yeah. Shout out.
There was a fucking rat roommate who I won't mention, but you know, that's life. And I don't know, like the idea is to kind of like go through and gain, you know, better scenarios and better living spaces and roommates and vibes. Like all of that is so important. And you know, the hope is that, you know, the place you're living, I used to live in as well. It's a shithole.
Bro,
here
you brought up roommates. Oh my God. All right. Let me paint the picture of my first experience moving out. I was freshly 18.
Yeah.
I didn't want to live in a college dorm. 1, because I wanted privacy, and 2, because I didn't want a roommate I didn't know. So there was an apartment, that same one you lived at, that I found, and it was perfect. Little did I know, I didn't get to choose my roommate. So like I had a roommate planned originally, which oddly enough was actually Ian.
Yeah,
but
same guy.
Things didn't work out, but we're coming back a year later. But I go over here knowing that I was going to have Ian over, so I had to regroup, replan. And my first roommates were, keep in mind, this is probably like a, 800 square foot apartment, if that.
Right.
With 2 people.
Right.
So 400 square foot apiece. And we move in, and this guy, is a weirdo. Like, it was insane. Like,
Your roommate you moved in with.
Yeah, it was weird, man. It was a weird situation. Like, he had, like, his girlfriend also lived there. So keep in mind, we're already in a little space.
Yeah,
So
it's small.
His girlfriend's over. She's always on the couch, like watching TV really loud, whatever. He's always weird, like just oddly sitting there, like screaming at his life-size NASCAR and
His life-size NASCAR.
yeah, like he would sit in his life-size NASCAR and just like steer around and yell as a grown man.
Like an arcade.
Yeah, like he had a life-size
my
fucking
gosh.
NASCAR. Like I'd come home late at night and he'd be building a Lego set NASCAR. Like he had a weird addiction.
Wow.
Place was always a mess.
By the way, the fact that dude had a girlfriend is motivation that anyone can get some
Anybody out
ladies.
there, man. Like this guy was like top-notch weirdo.
And he was still fucking.
Still fucking. Actually, I never heard him fuck. Never. Which is weird, but maybe they're silent fuckers.
I can just imagine that girl just struggling not to fall out of love with him every day as he's like.
Maybe she, as a child, wanted to be a NASCAR driver as well.
Dude, who knows?
And they met like that.
Who knows?
I don't know. But there was a permanent indention in that couch where she would just sit.
Damn.
Like where they shared their 200 square foot apiece, left the dishes out. Clothes were always dirty.
Awful. Did they ever talk to you?
No, not really. Like we'd make awkward, I don't know you talk, but we live in the same house. Like, sup?
I mean, I don't know. Like, you're sometimes like not that willing to talk to people.
Yeah,
though.
that's true too. Like I didn't really want to. They really
Yeah.
gave me weird vibes.
I get that, but you like if it were me, like I would push through those.
Yeah,
You're not that type at all.
yeah. I have to really like enjoy your presence to want to willingly talk to you.
Yep.
However, I had a new roommate move in who at first was a weird situation until you were over one night. And we
Yeah.
actually met him together for the first time, even though we'd been living together for like 6 months, me and the new roommate who was
Yeah.
43 and I was 18.
Yeah. That was a cool night.
Where was he from originally? What did he say?
Colombia.
Yeah.
Colombia. He was really cool too. He came home from work, and I could talk to the dragon sitting in front of us and the statue, bro. Like I will talk to anybody or anything, and man, I just started chopping it up with him kinda, and he starts talking back, and you know, one thing leads to another, and he goes into the fridge, opens up a beer, and just sits down with us. We've never talked to him before.
Yeah.
So I bet that was actually probably like a nice thing for you being his roommate,
Yeah.
like at least having that.
Or after. It's been weird after as well.
Has it?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just a weird situation.
Why, it just went back to him not talking?
Yeah, well, it's probably both of us, but I don't know. It's just hard to strike conversation with somebody who just lives in your house that you don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just a me thing. Or maybe it's just a you thing who can talk to people.
I'm telling you, man, so many people have told me that I have this like God-given ability to just make conversation with people who clearly don't want to talk.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like I can't do a ton of other things, but I can talk my way in or out of most things, and I can make friends with pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
Which I'm not trying to brag, like I'm happy that I can do that because I want to be friends with everybody. I want to be cool with everybody. And, you know, to be honest, like we have talked about how poorly males communicate. Like I can like set myself apart from 98% of other males trying to talk to females by just being able to go up and complete a spoken sentence to a woman.
Yeah.
And not be like weird about it.
Usually it's just like a hey with like a fucking eggplant emoji DM.
Yeah.
And then, or like fucking like hard eyes on her ass picture on Instagram.
Exactly.
And then it's at that.
And like they're like, I don't know, you're in public talking to a girl and you like, I don't know, just like say some weird shit to her. I've seen it so many times at the bars, dudes, like they'll like take a girl's purse and like fuck with her or like poke her. And it's like flirting, like, dude, just be nice and she might like you back.
Yeah.
So weird. I don't know, bro. I could talk about the way that guys flirt with women in our age group is abominable. And the way that women flirt with us is also abominable because they won't speak to you. They're too afraid.
Yeah.
They just look at you.
You chalked your way up into management as well. They're like, you had it pretty nice, like when you were trying to get into your new house. Like,
dude,
or how did that even work? Well, we met him at our retail job, right?
what are you talking about?
Like the managers at our apartment. Like you ended up getting a good relationship with them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, dude, I would go get my mail and they would just be really friendly.
Yeah.
Shout out Jade at the Nest.
Yeah.
She's a legend. I mean, dude, the apartment sucked, but she carried it. Like,
Yeah.
she just cared.
That's true.
And like people that care are so hard to come by. It's actually sad. Like she really, like maybe more than actually definitely more than she was paid to be, gave a shit about this apartment. And so, you know, when things went south and I had to leave the apartment early, I had somebody who was kind of like in my corner.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, like, probably incriminating myself here, but I probably still have an outstanding balance with that apartment complex that I just evaded because I was like, look, I'm leaving and I've done everything you guys asked. I'm gone.
Yeah.
And my ability to explain myself was, I think, why I'm not in a lot of like trouble right now.
Yeah.
Like they should be like making me pay thousands. And they were just like, fuck it, man, go ahead.
Yeah.
Because I just explained what was going on. And, you know, people, like, they come across these problems that they can't solve because they can't explain themselves. Like, here's my issue. How can we work together to help solve it? Impossible for some people. That's odd,
Hell yeah.
you know?
Or maybe people are just incapable. Like incapable of knowing what to say, when to say, either because they're antisocial or they just haven't learned how.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think that part of it is how people were raised, and you know, like I don't know, like I used to be a server at a restaurant, and I see some people who like their kids are like 3 years old, and the parents will be like, order your food, and the kid's like can't even read, and he's like having to tell me he wants chicken tenders, and I always tell the parents like, good for you guys for doing that,
Yeah.
because it makes you so much better
Yeah.
as a communicator. And I mean, man, on that subject, like imagine all the people who have worked in public, who have worked retail. Like I've had people like, again, like my friend Nick Stimpert, like he was kind of, and he'll even admit this, like he was kind of antisocial. He started working at Finish Line, a shoe store, and he gained all these social skills and dealt with bad and good people. And man, he's climbed up the ladder so far. He's working super hard. And on top of that, he knows how to talk.
Yeah.
He knows how to like dominate conversations because he knows how to sell.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy. But man, people, it's just wild to me that there's people who are like in their 50s who are so antisocial that they can't be in a crowded room without feeling nervous. You know?
Bro.
Like without or not be able to talk. Like that's a problem of development. You got to practice it.
You brought up a story with a 50-year-old antisocial person I have to tell now.
Okay.
So I was at work. This happened about a week ago. And we're doing our routine, just regular work shit. And me and my good friend Janelle are just chalking it up, right?
Yeah.
We're just talking, we're cleaning whatever we got to clean. All of a sudden, this other snitch who's like 43 comes, a grown ass
Snitch?
man. He's a fucking snitch. Grown ass man comes up. And he's like, "Oh, by the way, you know what's her name is crying in the back right now." We're like, "Okay."
What?
He was like, "Yeah, like I don't know, I can't even think of her name." But he said, "Yeah, she's crying in the break room right now." We were like, "Okay." He was like, "Well, it's over what you guys talked about. You were talking about her."
What'd you say?
I didn't say shit. Like, I don't even know this person's name. And apparently me and Janelle were talking shit about this grown woman, which we had no reason to talk about in the first place. And she's crying in the break room because she overheard us talking about her. And then when she came up to confront us, we were quiet. Keep in mind, never seen this girl the whole
So
shift.
wait, so she confronted you about what? What'd she say?
She never did. This is what the 43-year-old snitch is telling us that she told him. Grown adults. It's fucking ninth grade shit.
Bro.
Grown ass adults. So all this goes on and on. I don't give a fuck. Janelle gets amped up. Like, she's fucking fired up. So she's going off. She's going over trying to figure this shit out. Eventually the managers get involved or whatever, whatnot. And
my.
they end up coming up to me. They were like, "Well, what did you say?" And I said, I feel like I'm in the 9th grade right now. I'm 19 years old. You were grown-ass adults, and you're crying over what somebody allegedly talked about.
Yeah.
And said that you did. And then that's whenever they came over to me, and I was like, what do you think that we said that you did? And what was it that made you cry? And she was like, I don't know what it was. It was, I don't know what you said, but I know that you were talking about me.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
she had no idea what you even said.
And it was nothing about her. She's just.
Well, now you're talking about her. So,
Yeah.
bro, I'm gonna tell your man. I'm gonna
fuck.
I'm gonna clip this, and I'm gonna show it to that girl. I'll be like, oh, he was talking about you.
Oh my god, dude. I just told everybody to grow up.
Yeah,
And then
I would have done the
I
same.
just left.
So they never told you what you were supposed to say.
No, because nothing was said, and they didn't know what we said.
Dude, that happened to me once too. I remember. I mean, it's the same story, so I'll keep it short. You know, a friend and I were lifting in the gym, had a conversation in between sets, and I guess a girl in the gym thought that we were talking about her and like told the faculty. And like we get an email like, hey, you know, we have been alerted that you were bullying a student. Meet us at this time. Had to go to an office and be like, dude, we didn't say shit. Literally didn't even know what the girl looked like.
Jesus.
So
man.
I almost wish that I bullied her at this point because she kind of fucking deserved it for being soft.
Here's a question for the audience.
Fucking softy.
Yeah, here's the question. Is that considered bullying? Like, in a way of like, I know like allegedly it would be, but like, is it a big deal?
What do you mean? If what situation? Yours?
Yeah, like even mine. Like, would that be considered bullying? Like, even if a grown person was talking about another grown person, is that bullying?
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it depends on what you were saying.
all right, let's say even if I was talking shit, I was like, oh well, her hair looks bad.
Yeah.
But like, why would somebody care?
I mean, by definition, yeah, it's bullying, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk shit on people behind their back 100%.
I guess. I feel like
people that I don't like, yeah.
I feel like after like the age of 16, bullying should just not even affect you.
Dude, it shouldn't be a thing ever. Just ignore it.
Yeah. Or cyberbullying, turn off your phone.
Log out.
Just turn off your phone.
Go outside. It's 100% true, especially in the workplace. Like anybody who works anywhere, they're like, oh, like they talk about coworkers. I probably in every job that I've worked have been talked about negatively. Doesn't bother me. Grow some thick skin.
How did of all generations, our generation who was raised off of Family Guy, South Park, and COD lobbies and social media, how are we the most sensitive? Out of all the generations in the past, how are we the most sensitive generation?
It makes no sense to me, really. We get so angry over the littlest things, and it just blows up. And you're right. I think that there is this generation that grew up on that stuff, and then there's a generation that maybe did not. I also think that those shows are actually largely the generation before us. I mean, they started in the early 2000s. We just picked up on them.
Yeah.
So we might be this like subculture that is just cool with that shit. Because people can make fun of me, and I do not care.
I feel like the ones crying are the ones who, like, when you go over like to their house, like to spend the night, their mom's like makes you turn off the fucking Simpsons because they said like the H word.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you have to turn the fucking show off because they cursed.
Literally.
Or like go to bed by 7. Like those kind of kids, and now
I
they
hated those
they grew up
parents.
to where they think that they're being talked about, so they tell management.
I mean, look, if you grow up inside a bubble wrap your whole life, and you know you've got your parents like deflecting you from all this like negative shit, and you don't let it reflect off of you and learn how to deal with it, then you grow up to be a full-grown adult, and you can't handle criticism, and you can't handle when people speak about you negatively.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time. People fucking hate me. I'm sure of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I do not give a shit. And, my skin is so thick that I can find out that people don't like me. And I'm like, fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Because I'm just doing my shit. And I actually am so busy that I don't have the time if someone is not liking me or not happy with me. It's like, dude, fuck you. Whatever. Go ahead.
People also envy. People envy when people do stuff that they're too scared to do.
100%.
I see it a lot with people I grew up with. Like I see, there's a good, and I don't want to take away from anybody who is supporting me from back home. I don't want to take away any of that. I love you guys to death. there's even people supporting me that I would have never dreamed would have even cared that I'm doing this, right?
Yeah.
But there's people that I know that I grew up with, I was very close with, who don't give a fuck. If anything, they're almost, I don't know what the right word would be, but they're not supporting me.
Right.
Like I don't necessarily want to say like they're like fuck them, but they're just not supporting.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I say it all the time, and I'm definitely not the first to say it. I mean, you're either with me or you're against me.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not for what I'm doing, then fine. You're the enemy. You're who I'm trying to prove wrong.
Yeah.
And I will continue to.
Fuck yeah.
And, dude, like, every day is an opportunity to do that. So, that's the motivation at the end of the day. And I think that, like, if we could really sum this up, the motivation is to be like, oh, like, that guy doesn't want me to do this? I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah, and I'm
like,
gonna do
it makes me want to.
Better than anybody who's tried to do it in the past.
Damn right. Damn right.
It's the only way to do it, man. That's, mark my fucking words. No matter what it is that I end up doing, whatever I decide that thing is, it's going to be massive.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, I think that, even taking the risks that we have and having this mindset of just like blocking out anything bad. I mean, man, look, I've been in the workplace for a little bit and I'm realizing that it's a tough environment. Like, it's challenging me.
Yeah.
And I consider myself pretty thick-skinned. It's like, damn, like, there's some days where I'm like kind of beaten down from what people say to me and like think about me. And that's just how it is, man. It's tough.
Yeah.
So, I mean, expect it for, the younger kids coming in and, maybe, there's going to be some, some reaffirming from our older listeners. It's like, dude, it's hard. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to get ridiculed and criticized. You've got to take it and build off of it. You can't just crawl into a ball and be like, that guy said that I was wrong.
Yeah.
You're going to be fucked.
How can somebody give you advice on something that they've never done?
I mean, they can't.
There it is.
I just not with solid ground.
Yeah.
That's like people saying that this podcast sucks while they're on their lunch break.
Yeah.
Dude, go make your own shit. Like, you're not doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, there's I'm actually, dude, I'm even okay if people say it sucks. Just have a reason. Dude, DM us and be like, dude, this is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is what you could do better. Or this is horrible. Here's why I hated it. Okay, valid.
Personally, like, now that I'm in, not necessarily the industry of podcasting, but like now that
you're in it.
Now that we're making one,
You're in it.
I notice other podcasts, and biased opinion, they suck. Like, they actually suck. Like, the way they put it together, the editing. Like, me and you take time out of our day to do this shit. Like, we literally stay up. We have 3 a.m. nights where we go in, we call each other, FaceTime each other, like, zoom in on the fucking clip to where the audio is off a little bit, and you're like, fuck, we missed it. We got to go back. Like, they don't do that. Like, I can hear it and tell.
Yeah.
They don't fucking do that. Or the audio's off and the video doesn't match up, or their topics are just bland and they force shit to come out. Like, it's not genuine and it's not authentic. Biased opinion, but if we were famous already, like some of these other podcast hosts like Addison fucking Ray, dude, we'd be fucking viral.
Agreed.
If we
Addison
had
Ray's
platform,
podcast sucks.
If we had the platform that these people have, our podcast would be taken off a lot faster than it is. But because we're doing it the right way, ours is not going to fall off.
Addison Ray's podcast sucks. That's really all I took away from that. I don't knock anything that anyone's doing because they're doing their own thing and we're doing ours. But I don't know. At the end of the day, the hard work will always show, and it doesn't matter. The numbers don't really necessarily reflect quality. They reflect your reach
and your social status.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's why this industry is backwards, but it's the game we play.
And I don't want to knock creators. Like, I support you 100% for going out there and creating something.
Yeah.
Just don't be lazy. Like, they're lazy with it. Like, you can obviously tell they didn't take the time in to make it line up or make it sound good.
Well, I think that part of it is sometimes that they just don't notice it, or maybe it isn't a laziness thing. It's like a skill thing.
Yeah.
which I won't knock ever. I mean, again, like people, they're doing their own thing, man. I'm doing mine, and it's always been that way. I've always been happy, you know? And, man, like if we look back at everything that we've done, we actually, the whiskeys and Cokes definitely attributed to a lot of the bashing that I did in this episode. I was kind of like shitting on everybody there for a second, but no regrets, and won't pull any of it back. I mean, if you are an OG fan to what I've been doing, then you remember a time when I used to absolutely demolish everybody and everything, and I've like pulled it back a little bit because I've learned my lesson.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I it's how it is, and you know, man, honestly, you know, it's good to have you back,
Hell
Logan.
Yeah, man. It's good to be back.
It's been
I missed it.
Yeah, it's been too long, and I'm happy to be back as well. I think that you can agree that moving away from this area for just a little bit was a good refresher and a good reminder of why we're here. So
it's almost therapeutic to just let it all out.
Yeah, no doubt, and I feel that way for sure. I feel like rejuvenated, even though all I did was, you know, go. I came back like I feel better. You know,
it's mesmerizing that people actually give a shit and listen.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me.
Let's do another challenge. If you've listened to the full end of this, name one attribute about somebody that you absolutely cannot stand. For me, an attribute that I absolutely cannot stand is when your name starts in a verb, like Pat or Nick, which ironically are two of my best friends, but other than them, hate the name. Another thing that I absolutely hate about people is when they don't smile in pictures.
Yeah.
Probably the worst attribute that I've ever thought of is when people don't smile in pictures. What about yours? Pointing at the arm.
My biggest one is probably people not forming their own opinion. Like just following the crowd.
Yeah, the internet.
Yeah, that one. And I think you said it, not necessarily not smiling, but doing stupid poses. Like
stupid poses.
That shit in a fucking picture, or like fucking like their retail salary and a fuck on their arm. Shit like that.
Stacking the cash arm, yeah. All right, so listen, if you've listened this far, then you're about 50 minutes in, and I would hug and kiss you in very dangerous parts of your body if you were here. And tell us what your favorite, or no, tell us what your least favorite thing is about human beings and their attributes, and we'll shout you out at the beginning of next podcast. But man, guys, thanks so much for listening. If you have not already, go follow Loosely Attached Pod every single social media that you can possibly imagine. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the above.
Oh yeah.
Take care of yourselves. Party hard this weekend. Work hard next week. We'll see you guys next time.
Who think you fooling? We not new to it. We kinda fluent. House game on the wood. My cup full with mud. I came out the hood. Sometimes the gangsta need a hug. I'ma get all my problems above. Hate when people be doing too much. Keep it real, the street show you no love. We don't need no one.